So before people start something new, they must end what it used to be. Because transformation is often more about unlearning than learning. You know, I'm 36 years old now. Yeah, I know. Midlife crises are at its peak. However, 18 years back, when I was just out of school, I had gained so much of knowledge. Maybe close to 20,000 hours of formal education, over 500 advertisements, 500,000 advertisements actually, maybe 40,000 hours of media. I had spent hours and hours, thousands and thousands of hours with my friends and family discussing various opinions, ideas and beliefs. That's a lot of knowledge. And today as I'm here amongst all of you, I can actually say that I've spent half my life trying to unlearn all that piled up storage. And maybe I'm still at it. So today I'm going to be speaking with you guys about how I applied the theory of unlearning in my life. You know, I was always told that the sooner you decide your career path, the easier the path gets. Well, at the age of 28, I decided to be a photographer. And all I can say is that I'm content. It was, a different kind of a feeling altogether, because I realized that there's no point in going by the book. Writing your own book, setting your own rules, and undertaking your own journey is the most beautiful accomplishment ever. So step 1, unlearning career paths. I was born and brought up in Mumbai. I did my hotel management. I graduated in hotel management from IHM Bangalore. And I got good grades, I got a good placement. But my parents insisted that I study further. So I did an MBA in Human Resources and Sales and Marketing. And I got myself a job. Rings a bell, right? Well, that's what I had learned. Study hard, get good grades, find yourself a job, get a placement, start working, make a lot of money, invest, and lead a regular life. Well, there's nothing wrong in it. But I was somewhere not very happy doing the regular 9 to 7, sometimes 9 to 11 desk job. I was always inclined towards writing, direction, because drama was a major co-curriculum. But I was always in denial. I was always thinking that I don't have anybody in my family from the film industry, so maybe I can never make it. And I had heard all kind of rumors about the industry. Well, that's a different debate for now, so I'm not going to get into that. But yeah, so in 2008, in spite of having a well-settled, well-paying corporate job, I decided to quit. 2008, it was a time when our country was facing one of its worst recessions. Well, not as bad as what it is at this moment, but it was pretty bad even then. So obviously my decision got a lot of friction. And I was telling my parents that I want to enter into the film industry as a writer-director. So it was anyways a very scary scenario for all of them. One would think that I had put in a lot of thought, to make this decision. But honestly, it was an impulsive one. Because if I didn't give it a chance then, I could have never pursued it. So I sat down with my parents. I explained them that, this is what I want to do. Well, my dad gave me a year to explore. He said if within a year you don't crack it, then maybe you can get back to your corporate life. So the real struggle for me began pretty much back then. I was always a pampered child from South Mumbai. Coming to the suburbs by train, by bus was a whole new experience for me. I had to try to reach out to people who I didn't even know, try to tell them to believe in me, to believe in my work. Well, it took me a long time. It took me maybe close to 18-19 months, and I cracked my first job for a youth fiction channel where I wrote a show for them. It was a fiction show and it did pretty well. Well, 2 years passed. I was lucky enough, I got offered a film to direct and write in 2010. So I decided to leave my parents' house, which was pretty much my comfort zone, and shift to the suburbs. I worked hard on my movie, and in 2012 it released. Well, what I would say that photography for me even then was never an option, it was just a hobby. Unfortunately, when my film released, it did not fare well. It was a flop, and the production house for which I was working shut down. I probably had money left only for, money that would last me 1 month's rent. So it was time for me to pack my bags and go back home. A dear friend of mine, she advised me that why don't I take up photography as a career option. But I was too scared because I had always learned that if I need to do something as a career, I need to have formal education in it. I should know the technical know-how. Back then, I didn't have an option. So I said, let's give it a shot. So that brought me to step 2 of unlearning, which is, it's not always necessary to have a plan in life, or we do not need to formally be trained in anything to pursue that as a career option. So I took to online tutorials, I worked really hard, I studied as much as I could online, which is photography, and I did a lot of free shoots, which would sometimes last 18 hours, 20 hours, but I had to make it happen. Fortunately for me, back then things started moving in the right direction. People started appreciating my work and I started earning as well. I faced a lot of rejections, I faced a lot of obstacles. However, I realized that this was the career path that I wanted, and it gave me immense happiness and pleasure. 3 years passed. In 2015, I directed another film. This time again, the film didn't do as it was expected for me to do. And it was again something which was termed as a flop. Well, I had always learned that the film industry gives a newcomer or an outsider only one chance. 2 chances were up for me and I still could not manage to, get the box office going for myself. However, I didn't give up this time. I wrote something which was a short film. I wrote on a topic which I believed in. And the very same year, that film represented India at the Cannes Film Festival, at the 69th Cannes Film Festival, and also won awards there. I was assured that maybe now I can direct as well. And I forgot about whatever I had learned about the industry, about the various one chances, etc., etc. What I realized that if you do something from your heart, it is something that is going to work out. And let me tell you what I did when I learned this, and I unlearned everything else. In 2015, I decided to write a web series on Section 377. I was always passionate about the LGBTQ community, and I always felt that it was misrepresented in Indian cinema. The LGBTQ characters were always comedians, they were laughing stock, and that was the main reason why society always mocked and ridiculed them. I wanted people to know what LGBTQ is all about. It was important for me to highlight and to educate the masses on the real struggles faced by the LGBTQ. It was important for people to understand that being gay, being lesbian is as normal as being straight, and they also go through the same emotions and feelings like the straight people do. So I wrote a web series which dealt with homophobia. In 2015, being gay, being lesbian was still a taboo, believe it or not. It was still a very big taboo. So I found myself in a fix where no actor wanted to play a over-the-top gay character. So what would I do then? Well, I had no option, but I had to cast my own self in that very particular character. So at the age of 31, I was introduced to a new profession, which is acting. And what I had learnt about acting was an actor needs to be trained, he needs to be good looking, he needs to be thin, and probably 1,000 other qualities, and honestly I had none. But I just knew that I had to do this. So I again had to unlearn just in order to learn. And the web series did well. It got a second season as well. It traveled all across the globe, and it fairly reached out the correct kind of message which we wanted to convey. Like I said in the beginning, that it's very important for us to learn, but we as a society also need to unlearn a lot for our very own good. We need to unlearn that it's always important for us to be happy. We need to know that it's okay to be sad as well. We need to unlearn that money is the solution to all our problems. We need to unlearn that success is the finishing line. It's actually pretty much the journey. Talking about success, each of us have our own interpretation. Well, I have been fortunate that I have got the Dada Saheb Phalke Excellence Award in 2016 for my contribution to fashion photography. However, on the other end, I have a digital film which hasn't released yet. I have 2 web series which are lying in the cans. So then that's that. I don't know if you guys have traveled by the Mumbai locals. I have. And I found it always very difficult to get into a crowded compartment. What I would do then? And I would actually land up missing the train. So what I would do then when I would miss the train? Guess what? I would wait. I would wait for another train to come to the platform, and I would try my best to get into the compartment and not repeat my mistake again. I had no choice. I had to catch that train. I had to make my own place in that crowded compartment because I had to get home. We all must get to wherever we desire. And in that process, we must never stop trying. We must never stop learning. And we must never forget that it is very important for us to learn how to unlearn. Thank you.